A very good evening, rather, to all of you. And thank you very much for the organizers, for the NIWS, for inviting Kappa to speak on this topic, interesting topic. How we really can strategize the revival of domestic tourism sector. And I will share some perspective more from the aviation side of things and some statistics covering the overall tourism sector. For benefit of those who don't know much about Kappa, so Kappa is a research and advisory company into aviation and the tourism sector. Our advisory and research portfolio spans around 700 plus global projects and hundreds of insight and analysis report that we've delivered with integrity, independence, and obsession of outcomes. And we are about a team of 50 plus full-time specialist aviation consultants, and it is the largest and most experienced aviation practice advisory company in the region. And our USP is the combination of our depth of knowledge, independence, intellectual and financial integrity, commitment to outcomes, delivering game-changing solutions, and decisive support to our clients. So domestic tourism. So as I think the esteemed panelists all were discussing about the pandemic's impact on the tourism per se. So Ms. Poonam also covered some bit on the inbound tourism, which primarily most of our Indian tourism platforms it is getting discussed about. But I think domestic tourism is as equally as important as it was presented or shown through the statistics that Ms. Poonam presented. And if we say that the steps taken by the national government, state government in the last 1.5 years, especially around implementing the lockdowns had sort of brought the entire, not just the tourism sector, but the whole economy per se on a standstill. So in that, if we see tourism and travel industry is important to our country from the GDP perspective too. So last year, when while tourism and travel industry was contributing about 6.9% prior to COVID, it just contributed this time 4.7% in FY 2020, and the share of domestic spending to the direct travel and tourism GDP was just 89% in FY 2020. Domestic tourism in India increased more than three times, between 2010 to 2019. However, pandemic has severely impacted the tourism, with the domestic tourist visits steeply falling by 74% in 2020. And if we look at the hotel industry per se, which is an important aspect of the tourism industry, the Indian hotel industry witnessed a consistent growth before the pandemic, that is during 16 to 20. However, after the pandemic, a lot has changed in FY 2021. All performance indicators, if we look at closely, were severely affected due to the nationwide travel restrictions. If we look at the RevPAR, which is revenue available per room, and the average daily rates, they have been estimated to decline by 65.8% YOY basis and 33.8% in FY 21. And the nationwide occupancy rate fell about 31.6 percentage points to just 33.8% in FY 2021. We started seeing some gradual improvement after the first wave at the end of the 2020. However, the second wave actually again brought many tourism activity to stand still. A gradual improvement in the industry's performance we expect to start happening from the FY 2022 onwards, especially the second half of the FY 22 onwards. So if we look at some of the operating parameters, performances for across the major Indian cities of these hotels, the pandemic affected not just the demand from both leisure and corporate segments. As we looked at in the previous slide, the overall occupancy, RevPAR, ADR, everything has fallen in FY 2020. The occupancy rate, especially in the major cities such as Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, almost halved. I think it was just only Goa, a famous tourist destination, we all know, for the domestic tourism performed slightly better than these other major cities on these operating performance. And if we look at, because COVID cases, how the first wave has impacted the country versus the second wave that has impacted the country. So if we look at the top 10 states which are, popular among the domestic tourists, have now significantly lower COVID-19 cases than what it was in their peak levels when they witnessed the second wave. Although the first wave did not have much of an impact, but it was more from the impact was felt more from because of the lockdowns. However, the second wave left quite a significant impact on the industry and the whole country. And if we look at the top 10 popular destinations, the top 10 domestic destinations by 2020 statistics, and these were largely same in case of pre-COVID as well. So Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh accounted for more than one-third of all domestic tourist visits prior to the pandemic, and the share of fully vaccinated individuals in these states still remain low. The low share, although we feel that the low share will not directly meet the domestic tourism potential, but it certainly does render some susceptible to lockdowns and other restrictive measures during the potential third wave if that happens. And vaccination rollout, because vaccination is the key for the revival of the domestic tourism in our country. The vaccination programs in Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, and all of these are progressing faster. However, a faster rollout is needed for the revival of tourism in these states. So for some of the projections, more from the aviation side of things and the way forward, domestic and international traffic levels are forecasted to increase by about 52% YOY and about 60% YOY in FY 2022. So we all saw that FY 21 was really not a great year for the Indian aviation sector. And in specifically, if you look at the domestic airline passengers, there was a steep fall in FY 2021 from what the number was 138 million in FY 20, which just remained 53%. However, from our proprietary models that we maintain and update on regular basis, according to that, we see some revival happening in FY 2022, but that will continue to remain below the respective 2020 levels. And what could be the expected outcome for domestic traffic in FY 2022? So, like I said, we did see some recovery happening at the end of the FY 20, especially around September, October the last year. But the recovery was halted due to the second wave. And after considering the impact of second wave, our proprietary model forecasts the domestic traffic, to be in the range of 80 to 95 million in FY 2022, which is up from 52 million, 52.5 million in FY 21, and but still remain well below the FY 20 levels. We have not considered the impact of third wave while computing these forecasts. Although forecast ranges between 80 to 95 million, our guidance is for traffic towards the bottom end of the range, which is around 80 million. Bearing in our mind the uncertainties involved in the current situation, the pandemic situation. And after a massive slump, largely in May and April and May, due to the second wave, we now expect to see an acceleration in traffic, airline traffic, from Q2 of FY 2022, which was also the case in second half of the FY 2021. And we expect to see rising confidence and continued traffic recovery in the second half of FY 22 as well. And in FY 2022, we also expect the domestic traffic recovery, at least of metro to metro routes, to continue, and demand to pick up from the current level of 50% of FY 22 to 70 to 75% of FY 22 by 20 by March 22. Metro routes in specifically the last year, FY21, were the worst affected routes because of the high infection rate in specifically the metros. We all know what happened in Bombay, Maharashtra, and the curbs of on respective airports. The recovery is expected to pick up pace from November 21 to March 22, as by that time we'll have more vaccinations, to be rolled out, and business traffic is also likely to rebound on expectations of minimal infection rate. The recovery of traffic on metro to non-metro routes is expected to be over 75% of the pre-COVID level by March 2022. And then a number of passengers on flights from metros to specifically the leisure destinations such as Goa, Kochi, Srinagar is expected to rebound or exceed the even pre-COVID level in second quarter of FY22, as we all have been discussing the increased rate of the vaccination as well as the the pent-up demand or the revenge travel we all were talking about. Looking at some of the initiatives that the government or some of these offbeat destinations are taking, although border closures limit the recovery of international tourism, they bring along a silver lining for domestic tourism too. And top tourism destinations, especially those with high COVID-19 infections, such as Maharashtra and Kerala, should work harder than offbeat destinations to be perceived as a safe destination, because during the pandemic time, it is really important for the tourists to feel safe when they are traveling to any of the destinations. Given the multitude of options for travelers, state tourism boards must reinvent themselves to stand out and gain attention. Top domestic tourism destinations must enforce responsible tourism so that they do not lose out to offbeat destination. As Guru Prasad was also presenting about how responsibly OYOs are going about ensuring safety. Destination promotion collaboration with the central government through schemes such as Dekho Apna Desh must be given priority. Karnataka has really come up with a very innovative solution to promote road tourism from neighboring state, and the state government plans to promote caravan tourism to allow travelers to explore Karnataka without worrying about COVID-19. These are some of the immediate focus areas for tourism stakeholders that we think are really important. Although tourism recovery in India is to depend on elements that may be beyond one's direct control, like third wave emergence or new COVID strains like Delta variant, Delta plus variant, or vaccine efficacy. But a lot can be done, for us as a country to get ready and start welcoming our, at least start welcoming our domestic tourists. So some of these include, there is a need to develop a quality destination with focus on health and sanitization. As we often discuss about, the inbound tourism is really important for the country, and they are a great contributor towards GDP. However, there is a perception about our country, not just in the foreign tourist arrivals. In fact, in our domestic tourist arrivals, is that some of the key tourist destinations, they don't take care enough hygiene, health, sanitization protocols and precautions. So hence it is really the need of the hour that the confidence in the tourists is generated, and quality destinations should really focus on these aspects. States really need to accelerate their vaccination drive and adopt globally approved vaccines. Marketing and advertising must communicate the hygiene, health, and safety measures that these states are taking and that are being implemented, as it will help them bring trust in their destination. Protocols related to health and hygiene and the quality of civil infrastructure. All of these things should become the new normal for the industry, and the industry really needs to prepare for this reality. The industry really need to develop effective strategies to stimulate tourism with a focus on attracting millennial travels. So millennial travelers are really important for the revival of the domestic tourism in the country, and our strategy should really focus on how we can revive and how we can attract. And obviously, the influencers, use of influencers, and social media can really act as an enabler in just striking this traveler segment. Adopt effective vaccine passport program early. This is more on the inbound tourism side. Create conducive ecosystem that supports airlines and reduces operating risk. So airlines are critical and important element of the tourism value chain. And we all have been hearing about how there have been financial and operating risks that most of these airlines are really facing, especially in the time of the pandemic. So if we really can, as a industry, can work in a collaborative way with the airline sector too, and we can create a conducive ecosystem for them in any way where we can support them, that will be a great support to the sector. Design and deliver a very robust tourism ecosystem, which is digitally and technology enabled, so that we are ready to participate in the future upside and more resilient to future shocks of any such pandemic that may happen, or any other thing that can have an impact on the tourism. Tourism requires a new approach post-COVID, supported by decisive stakeholder collaboration. That was a small, brief presentation from our side.